Ladies and gentlemen, mountain bikers of the world.
This video is all about the mountain bike must-know-abouts. Things that you, as a mountain biker, must know about to be comfortable on the bike, comfortable off the bike, comfortable working on the bike, and just the necessities of a mountain biker.
Basically, everything in this video is something I wish somebody came up to me and told me about when I first started mountain biking to help my whole experience overall, basically.
Starting with on-trail preparedness.
Next, with the latest tech and most popular products.
And on-bike comfortability.
As well as nifty gadgets. And, oh no, it's happening again. I forgot my lines. Jeff is probably staring at me.
Nifty and useful gadgets.
Useful gadgets. On-trail preparedness. Things to keep you prepared
while on the trail, because you don't want to be that guy that gets a flat and doesn't have anything to fix it or know how to fix it. Or if you're by yourself, get stranded out there. So starting with on-bike emergency essentials with a frame strap, such as this one, which you have, so you can tell them about it.
I love this frame strap for multiple reasons. Number one, it's got super cool Worldwide Cyclery logo, obviously. Number two, my more favorite reason is that it has a boa, which also has this really nice little string. So it's super easy to take on and off your bike, put on any bike, and also put in a number of places a classic or conventional frame strap would not work. Super easy to get on anywhere on your bike, and nice and easy to tighten it up, which is super cool.
Pretty cool. Designed by Occam, little collaboration where we got to put our logo on there. They make a bunch of different amazing boa frame straps where you can keep all of your essentials. Speaking of which, essentials.
Essentials.
This is actually all pulled from my own bike.
That's right.
This is a spare tube. This is a Tubolito. This is the lightest possible spare tube you can have, which I like to have because I don't actually really ever need this unless it's worst case scenario. The reason I don't need this is because the other thing you have on there is your Stan's Dart tool.
Stan's Dart tool.
Demonstrate.
Or tire plug, or any sort of tire plug, a Dynaplug, I should say.
Dynaplug,
tire plug.
Bacon strips.
Just a quick, fast way to plug a hole in your tire, and you just go like that, boom, you're good. And then, you know, maybe a quick blast of CO2 or hit with the pump right here that you should also have in your kit, in case, you know, tire pressure gets low, something like that. Great thing to have.
Pumps have gotten a lot more popular than CO2 because they've started making really compact, lightweight ones. Lezyne in particular makes amazing ones. This is the one from my own bike. Press to ore Schrader, and you never have to worry about it with CO2 because CO2 is like you use them and then you forgot you used them, and then you get a flat again a month later, and then it's just not.
You're feeding the CO2 machine.
They are faster if you're in a race scenario, that's for sure. But if you're not in a race scenario, a pump makes a lot more sense.
Speaking of things that make sense, a multi-tool, also one that happens to have a chain breaker and a master link integration, super handy. Also, you don't want to break your chain, be stuck out there stranded, and be like, oh, I wish I had a master link. There you go.
That's my day saver one. Crank Brothers is another brand that makes amazing multi-tools. There's a lot of them out there, but important things to have with you because you can pack a lot of tiny useful tools into a little small thing.
That's right. That covers kind of your standard show riding emergency essentials, right? But for the more backcountry folk,
going off the grid. So this is some stuff I personally wanted to put in here because I like to do sort of big off the grid rides and adventure races where you need things such as a Katadyn Be-Free. This is a water filter so you can drink out of streams, which is really convenient. And recently a new brand came out and created this product, which is quite amazing. It basically does the same thing as this in terms of water filtration, but specifically made to fit on a cycling bottle.
The company is called Extract. These work directly on your cycling bottle, as he has just demonstrated.
Look at that.
Super nifty. No modifications required. Super cool.
Cool. Beans. Cool. Beans. Cool product I think mountain bikers should know about because it's just innovative and useful. Next thing, satellite communication device such as a Garmin InReach. So this is something that does require a subscription plan, but you can send your live location with this via satellite. You can call SOS with this. Garmin has a massive global network for SOS alerts for these things. Also note that if you have an iPhone 14 or 15, those do have the ability for SOS communication over satellite.
You are kidding. That is amazing!
If you're really hardcore, you definitely want this, but a feature on your iPhone, if you do have 14 or 15 with some of the newer ones, you should know about is that one. Did you know about that?
I did know about that. Yes.
What a guy.
Yes, because I too have a Garmin InReach. I personally have the InReach Messenger, so it's a little bit different, but very similar.
Allows you to more easily send messages to people while you've got no service and you're off the grid. Quick thing, Adventure Medical Kits. This brand has been around for a super long time. I've always had, they make a bunch of different sizes of these. They are, as they say, ultra light and watertight. Different sizes depend on how prepared you want to be, but this is one that I always take with me on backcountry rides. Got a ton of useful, important stuff in it to keep you alive in the event you need any of this, which hopefully you don't.
'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off. No, it isn't.
Another thing
You
got to take with you is electrolytes.
That's right.
If you want to sustain your comfortability on the bike, you certainly need electrolytes, which is perfect because this is the video sponsor, LMNT. This is an electrolyte brand that makes a fantastic electrolyte supplement to put into your water. Basically 1,000 milligrams of sodium in this very small pack, no sugar, touch of stevia, and you got your magnesium and your potassium in there as well. Why I like LMNT is because their take on electrolyte supplements is kind of the zero sugar element of it. A lot of electrolytes that are marketed these days, especially in the cycling industry, are filled with maltodextrin and various types of artificial sugars. You know, I'm not saying are bad, but it's not the use case I like. I prefer to get my calories in actual foods rather than drink them. But obviously you need electrolytes. So this is like a great way to have a very tasty electrolyte that covers all your electrolytes without getting any sugars in there. So it's 0 calories. So I think this is the best tasting electrolyte supplement I've ever had. And 1,000 milligrams of sodium in a very small packet like this is pretty amazing. It's a lot smaller of a packet than most electrolytes that I've used in the past. I got nothing but good things to say about them. So massive thank you, LMNT, for sponsoring this video. Incredible brand and incredible electrolytes if you want to stay healthy and feeling good out there when you're sweating on that mountain bike ride.
And it's also nice if you come across some really gross tap water, it kind of covers up the taste a little bit.
Never thought about that, but that's a good point.
That's a good point. That's why I carry some on me as well. Right now, LMNT is offering our subscribers a free sample pack with any drink mix order. That includes 8 single serving samples for you to try all the tasty flavors or to share with a salty friend. You must use our link in the description to redeem this offer. Go to drinklmnt.com/worldwide cyclery. That is DRINKLMNT.com/worldwide cyclery. Here we have the latest tech and ultra popular products. First, this is a tire that a lot of people have been asking for over the years since it came out, but a special version. We've got the Tanwal Assegai. All you Tanwal lovers just rejoice. Your favorite grippiest tire in your favorite color to match your rear tire.
The Assegai is an important tire to know about because it is one of the grippiest Maxxis front tires ever, hands down. In terms of ultra popular products, Maxxis is still the reigning king in the tire world with the Assegai, the DHR2, and the DHF, most notably in terms of front tires. But an important thing to know about, which is a newcomer, new in terms of actually eating market share and climbing the ladder of most popular tires in the mountain bike world right now, Continental
Cryptotol. Continental Cryptotol.
What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
Continental, which is certainly not a newcomer in the tire space by any means. New in the sense that this tire has been ending up on World Cup podiums in downhill racing under the fastest racers in the world and climbing the ladder in terms of top-selling tires. So
one of the most popular products of all time on worldwidecyclery.com. The DT Swiss 54-tooth ratchet kit. You can upgrade your 350, I guess, or 240 hub. Any ratchet-driven DT Swiss hub, you can upgrade to 54 points of engagement, I guess, right? So a lot of them come stock with either 18 or 24, 36 teeth or points of engagement, and then this is a super easy, convenient way to upgrade that and have a higher degree of engagement. But speaking of engagement, DT Swiss recently came out with this, the 240 DEG hub, which has 90 points of engagement, the most of any DT Swiss hub ever.
And a slightly revised ratchet system.
Also, not only do they have more engagement, but more durability and strength, so that is very interesting. It is actually a larger diameter ratchet and with more teeth, so check it out if you're interested in a little more engagement and a super spiffy rear hub.
A ton of bikes come with DT Swiss hubs and wheels because they're just an iconic brand for reliable, good, high quality hubs, spokes, rims, all of that. And yeah, that 54 tooth upgrade kit, if your bike has a DT hub, go research that and see if you need that, because that's a huge ordeal. Makes a huge difference in how your bike feels with less lag before it engages.
Slingshot engaged.
Speaking of making a huge difference, we've got Fox direct mount fenders, 2 more of the most popular products we have probably ever sold. These are constantly flying off the shelf because if you have a Fox 36 or 38 fork, chances are you want to put a fender on it, you're riding in dirt flies up, hits you in the face, goes in your mouth, doesn't taste good. You want to have a fender on your fork because it works and it looks cool. You can attest to that.
Yeah, I can. RockShox makes some too for some of their forks, but
They do.
essentially in the last few years, RockShox and Fox have started making forks where you can direct mount the fenders to them, which is a nicer, cleaner look. But regardless, just having a zip tied on fender too is super useful and helpful.
True.
It keeps mud out of your face. Speaking of things you don't want in your mouth, ride wrap.
Ride wrap. Recently, ride wrap has just taken off. I have actually done ride wrap on my last 2 bikes, and honestly, if you have a bike that you like to ride, I would recommend getting this because it is absolutely worth protecting your investment. You can honestly barely even tell it's on there until you come right up close and see it. They have a whole number of kits from covered that cover like the high wear areas of your frame, all the way to tailored that literally covers every inch of your bike.
Protect your investment.
Yeah, I mean, these things are legit. They are tested in Whistler, so they kind of know their stuff.
Extremely durable, nearly invisible, glued-on condom for your bike frame.
I would not have put it that way, but that is pretty accurate. Up next!
A very important thing you have to know about, if you don't already, is SRAM transmission and the death of the slow death of the derailleur hanger.
That's right.
In this box here is the GX transmission. A transmission, or T-type as SRAM likes to call it. The derailleur directly mounts to the frame and gets rid of the derailleur hanger. Only works with UDH compatible bikes. Latest and greatest drivetrain technology from, the leading company in mountain bike drivetrains.
Speaking of SRAM, another extremely popular product, the XX1 Rainbow Chain. Excellent way to just add a super nice high quality chain to your bike and a bunch of style.
Rainbow/oil slick, fits on all SRAM 12-speed drivetrains, not including transmission.
Not including transmission.
But if you have a SRAM 12-speed drivetrain, those things look absolutely awesome.
And speaking of things that look absolutely awesome, the Trail 1 top cap and spacer kit. I mean, are you kidding me? Not only is this a top cap, but it is also spacer. Kind of mind-blowing, I know. I'm sure everybody's here has had that tiny little bit of space on top of your stem that just, isn't enough for the spacer that you want. Your top cap is super awkward and horrible looking. This just takes care of that, just like that. It's gorgeous. A feat of engineering and design. Do yourself a favor.
Machined to beautifully match the various Trail 1 stems. There's 3 of them. If you don't know already, we are a co-founder of Trail 1 and help design a lot of the products. The brand makes amazing mountain bike products that support the sport of mountain biking by giving back to trail networks with every purchase of a Trail 1 product. So check that thing out.
To our next category.
On bike comfortability.
The ability for you to be comfortable on your bike.
Many moons ago, we made an in-depth video all about saddles and why it's important to have a saddle that fits you and is comfortable. It gets exponentially more important the more often you ride or the longer you ride, so keep that in mind. But if you have a saddle, you need to have it fitted right, it needs to be good. It's all personal preference, also depends on the size of your sit bones and whatnot, but yeah, that's an important thing to pay attention to and educate yourself about as a mountain biker if you want to be comfortable on the bike.
Your sit bones and your butt. That's
Speaking
what you said.
of both of those,
Speaking of both of those, we got Chamois, the best one of all, the kettle bib.
it's spelled chamois, but
Look at
it's
that.
pronounced chamois.
Look at the
And
padding
essentially what that is a butt pad. A lot of longtime mountain and road cyclists know exactly what that is. This one in particular is a quad layer one made in Italy. Super high-end, high-quality stuff. You get what you pay for when it comes to chamois bibs and chamois shorts. However, having a nice chamois and a good quality bib can dramatically make your mountain bike experience better. And if you're really on the bike a long time,
What do you put on your chamois?
cream.
That's
chamois
right.
cream. If you're riding a bunch of days consecutively, or
really
if
long
you're
ride.
doing really long rides, this is pretty nice. This is my favorite. This one's
from
called
New Zealand,
Gurney
mate.
Goo. From New Zealand, mate.
Gurney Goo from
Gurney
New
Goo.
Zealand.
There's also chamois butter, D's nuts. There's a bunch of different ones.
Mm-hmm.
They're all good. They're all useful. But if you're experiencing butt pain, you really need to dial in that seat, that chamois, and then maybe some chamois cream.
That's right. What do we got next? We've got grips. These Ergon. These are actually extremely popular among riders for their ability to reduce hand and wrist pain because these extra phalanges or wings are able to disperse the force and pressure from your hands all along this extra area and surface area. So these are super popular among riders. They might work for you, they might not, depending on your preference and your riding style. But
Grips are very personal preference, and there's a lot of different takes on how thick or thin, or how they should be cushioned, or how they should have little wings on them. All of that sort of stuff all kind of depends on you. It's an important thing to dial in, figure out what you like and what you enjoy. Myself personally, part of what the idea was with the Trail 1 project was that all of us here could kind of work with a professional engineer to design mountain bike products exactly what we wanted. So when it came to grips, we made the Hell's Gate grip, and we mostly made a grip that was an amalgamation amalgamation of all of our absolute favorite grips, every little tiny intricate feature. Check that out. The Hell's Gate grips, $1 per pair of grips sold goes to the Hell's Gate Mountain Bike Network, which is in Kijabi, Kenya, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort into these things. Again, a lot of different grips out there, a lot of really good ones. Make sure you have some good, comfortable ones for yourself.
Speaking of comfortable,
Shoes.
a good pair of mountain biking shoes. We know a lot of people out there say, oh, this works. Just do yourself a favor. Protect your feet and be comfortable in the process and get good grip. A lot of mountain bike shoes have a special rubber compound on the bottom of the shoe that gives you extra grip over just a standard skate shoe or something like that. So
if you're riding flat pedals, a mistake that's very common is if you're riding flat pedals, people just use like their general hiking shoe, skate shoe, or general casual shoe. The big difference is not only the rubber compound, but also the stiffness of the sole.
That's right.
So this is made so it actually like gives you a platform when you're standing on that platform and doesn't just bend around the pedal like a skate shoe would.
Or like a running shoe.
Yeah,
Don't
they
be wearing your running
really,
shoes
really
out there.
work bad. So you'll be shocked when you get a flat pedal specific mountain bike shoe if you're riding flat pedals.
It's like putting a couple pieces of a puzzle together. They just works and they are designed to work together. Is that the end of this section?
That's the end of this section.
I guess it is.
Nifty and useful gadgets, starting with a couple very simple and obvious things, but you gotta have them, especially if you have a full suspension bike or bike with air suspension or bike with air in the tires.
The first is a shock pump, either a digital or analog version. Personally, we like the digital because we're bougie here.
He's a dandy. He's a real fancy boy.
And we like to get precise. This goes down to the decimal, for God's sakes. What more could you want?
Having your suspension dialed in is very important to your mountain bike, and having a shock pump allows you to adjust it yourself and play around and experiment with different things. If you really go down the rabbit hole of that, check out the Cork Shock Whiz.
Speaking of precise, we like precision when it comes to our tires as well. It's a digital tire gauge. This one is made by Topeak. There are other versions as well. SKS is the one that is preferred by our man Liam because it also goes down to the decimal, and that guy is crazy about tires. He likes to go down to the decimal of a PSI, if you can even believe it.
Having proper tire pressure is a huge thing when it comes to mountain biking and making sure your bike handles and performs the way it should. So learn about tire pressure and make sure you have a good digital gauge.
Do you know what else is extremely important? Having proper torque on all of your bolts. A lot of people, you know, they just kind of go by the feeler gauge of your arm, but realistically, you want to have a good accurate torque wrench.
The nicer your mountain bike gets, the nicer the materials get, and it becomes exponentially more important to torque all of the bolts to the actual torque spec that they're made for. So if you have a nice bike, you really need to have a torque wrench. There's a ton of different ones out there. Park Tool makes some great ones, but don't be taking your handlebars on and off or moving your controls around or messing with your shock on and off unless you have a torque wrench.
Yeah.
Very important.
You don't just want to go by the, you know, the German scale of Gudentheit.
60% of the time, it works every time.
What else do we have next?
Torqued down and greased up.
Torqued down and greased up. Speaking of grease, we got a grease injector. Super fancy, and it's really nice to just get into those intricate areas of your frame or bearings, whatever.
That's nifty and useful because you don't make
yeah.
a mess like digging your finger or a brush into grease and then getting grease everywhere. You just like take the cap off, you put that on, and now you have a perfect little way to apply grease in the different areas you need to apply it without making a mess.
This last one is going to be more of a less popular or common thing you're going to see in a lot of people's garages, but that doesn't make it any less nifty or useful. It is a derailleur hanger alignment gauge. For those of you with transmission, this is kind of irrelevant at this point. But if you don't have transmission, which is still a lot of people, this is an invaluable tool to use when you are adjusting your drivetrain. You could make every adjustment in the book, and your drivetrain could still be shifting like crap because you haven't aligned your derailleur hanger. And we've even seen brand new bikes come in, and we are building them, and the hanger is still not perfect. So this is one of these, if you are, you know, maintaining your bike and dialing in your drivetrain, this is an amazing thing to have right here.
When you start working on your own bike and you get a nice toolkit built out, most toolkits don't come with this, but if you want to level up your game in terms of tools that will prevent you from having to go to a local bike shop all the time.
For all your friends.
Yeah, that is. It's basically that and then a trimming stand. Those are like the two core things that can make you do all your home mechanic stuff. Well, 97% of it.
That's right. This is like the missing piece of the drivetrain alignment puzzle right here.
If you found this video useful, please share it with your mountain biker friends, or if you know off the top of your head right now that you have some mountain biker friends that don't know about a lot of this important stuff, please send this to them. We would appreciate it, and so would they.
Also, comment below what nifty or useful or mountain bike product that everybody else should know about in the comments. And if you don't have any mountain biker friends, then maybe just subscribe to the channel because that'd be cool too.
Once again, thank you to LMNT for sponsoring this video. This is a great electrolyte supplement. Definitely check it out. Worth having in your belly if you're trying to replace your sodium depletion.
Worth having in your belly, and it's time to go jelly.